Welcome to Women Lead TV. We're here for another interview with the infamous and famous and award-winning Barbara Eldridge, who is the founder and president of Mind Masters. And I'm going to let Barbara share what Mind Masters is, but it is a twist on a word. It's not mastermind, which everyone maybe knows what mastermind groups are, but tell us a little bit about Mind Masters.
Well, it is in a sense a mastermind group, but I focused, I recognized years ago that the small business owner, alone in business, was lacking the support, the input, and even the experience of other business owners. And so Mind Masters, yes, we have to kind of master our mind because focus for small business owners is a challenge. And so by putting them together, we do have business topics, but it is also so that they can share what I call the challenges, the ideas, the resources that they're looking for.
Right.
I must say, we are not a networking group. We are strictly there to support business. So we don't allow people to push their business on other people. Mm-hmm. If after I get to know someone, or somebody gets to know you, and they want to do business with you, the door is open. But so to allow people to feel the trust of being open about the challenge or whatever.
Because there's all kinds of challenges in running a small business.
There is.
And I'm really curious, what are some of the, kind of common things, if there is such a thing, common things that you see these small business owners bring up? I mean, things that are like typical over a lot.
The overriding one is time management.
Okay. Because they have to do everything.
And don't forget, a lot of people come into business having a skill, and that's what they know how to do. So to take the time to go and market and do the sales, it is something that they push off doing. So it's really the challenge of managing the time so that they stay focused to what I call the high priority, high payoff areas of the business.
Say that again. High priority, high payoff
areas of the business. And if you're not doing those things, it doesn't matter what kind of skill you have. It doesn't really matter what your bookkeeping looks like or anything else.
What would be those, what are some examples of those tasks, like high payoff, high priority? Obviously prospecting or selling.
Prospecting, meeting with people, doing your networking. Especially I work a lot with service businesses. Right. And there's only so many things service businesses can do to market themselves. Mm-hmm. So the basic umbrella of that is building trust. So to build trust, it's kind of what you were talking about before about speaking. You can speak, the blogs, the writing, that helps build trust in who you are. Most importantly, probably for the small business owner, is in the networking. Developing the relationships with people so that people know, like, and trust you.
Those are great words.
Those things have to come into play, and you have to do them consistently. The minute you get a project and you stop doing those things, the wheel stops turning. Yeah. And that's where the time management thing really stuffs things. So you really have to focus on, number one, who your target market is, so you know where you're going and you're not wasting your time at a lot of big things that don't really generate the business.
So I'm dying to know, why did you start Mind Masters? You and I have known each other a lot of years. We bumped into each other in the San Diego, California community many years, and I've just seen you grow and change with Mind Masters. But what was the original, kind of idea that you said businesses need this, and I'm going to start Mind Masters?
I was one.
Okay, great. Okay.
I was one, and I had started a business years ago in Arkansas, and I always had a small group of people that I met with on a weekly basis just for accountability, just saying that I was going to do the things that are uncomfortable.
See, walls don't talk back, right?
When I came here, I used to put groups of business owners together 6 weeks at a time, and when we'd finished the end of the 6 weeks and I was still doing my other business at that time, the one we shared some experience in.
Yes.
Several of the people said, why aren't you doing this for other people? Wow. And I really resonate with the small business owner, the challenges and all of that. As I said, mostly service businesses because they have to juggle so many things.
How do you balance the I'm here to support you, which you're very much a nurturer to the small businesses. I've seen Barbara do this. You're very much a nurturer. And then how do you balance the kind of I'm going to kick you in the butt? Because I think how do you play back and forth on that?
It's in every meeting, people have to commit to action steps. And so on a weekly basis, they get a phone call. And some of them need more than that, and so they report in. So I get a report from them so that I can then comment on it. So accountability is a huge part of this. And it's not so much that I'm there to kick them in the butt. It's that they have committed to something, and I help them recognize perhaps that they're not on track with it. This is what you said was going to get you to this particular result that you wanted, but you're not focused on that. What can we do differently? And that's really what we do, is help people break it down into smaller steps, because they go too big, and consequently that time management gets out of control. So it is important that they
So this is going to help, I think, our viewers. It's like, what, because I know you've got many, but what would be maybe one success story that you've seen a business through accountability struggle with, without saying what their business was, of course, but what was then the outcome where they just flourished based on this accountability and the advice from your group?
I have one guy. When I met him, he was struggling. He was working out of his home. He had a couple of people that did part-time stuff for him. As it turned out, he wound up declaring bankruptcy, having to his house was foreclosed on him, but he stuck with it. Okay, that was 8 years ago. He just signed a $150,000 contract.
Whoa.
Okay,
that's
he now has 4 employees.
Right.
He's in his own office. So it's seeing.
You're like a proud mama when you say that.
Well,
is that
we kind of call it a family affair, but
yeah.
I have been a part of that because he will call and say, for instance, yesterday, he has one female, and I'm sorry to say, but there are times that females have their challenges, and he does not know how to deal with it in terms of getting her to stay focused to the work, to move it along. And so he goes, what do I do with her? So he really reaches out. He knows how to reach out. Yeah. And my weekly phone calls, he knows that's going to be there, so he can talk it out.
Get some great feedback.
Get some great feedback. Last week he was struggling with a client who he had done part of the job for. They hadn't supplied the rest of the information, but he needed to get paid, and they weren't willing to pay him the whole amount.
Oh, wow.
And so he wanted to just hear himself talk about it. And the group allowed him, it's your thinking, it's your, get that out of your head type of stuff. By the time he finished, he breathed and he went, I can handle this. And yesterday when I talked with him, he had dealt with it. And so there's little things like that make a difference, but that's what has allowed him to step up. Mostly, it's my encouragement for him. He had a great network of people that he wasn't tapping into.
Right.
And I kept nudging him to do that, and when he finally did that, it all opened up for him.
I love that success story. And to our viewers, it's like, what would maybe be 1 or 2 tips that you would give them if they're seeking to find not only Mind Masters, right? Because I know I'll have you share how to reach you, but what would be 1 or 2 tips if someone's looking as a small business owner to find a group like Mind Masters? What would you suggest? What should they do?
Certainly, people that are at I don't want to say the same level as you are, but at least have had success. I don't take people into Mind Masters generally unless they've had at least 2 years in business.
Okay.
Or if they've had the experience because they've worked doing the same thing for somebody else and they just need the business aspect of it. So it really is having people, number one, that have some experience and can support you from a positive standpoint to up your game.
Yeah.
We
it's not
need
about I'm better, you're not.
No.
It's all about supporting one another.
It's really about this is my angst. This week, what can I do about it? And the support, because people have such a huge range of experience that they bring to the table. Not necessarily from the business that they're in right then, but they can bring it to the table.
And so how do you want people to reach you? I know we've only got 1 more minute left here.
I've got a website. It's www.mindmasters.com. You'll get information on there. You can send me an email through the website. I have Facebook page. I have,
there you go.
I'm somewhat all over the place, not quite to the extent that most people, but when you handle about 50 people a week, it is challenging to do all the other things.
That is, and I want to congratulate you again as one of our Women of Influence Award winners.
I always
the
appreciate
Connected
that.
Women of
Connected
Influence
Women of
Award.
Influence.
Barbara was just recognized as one of our award winners for our Women of Influence Award. So thank you.
Thank you.
I adore you. You know that. And
I
to
love-
all of our viewers, it's like thank you for watching Women Lead TV. We'll be back with another amazing woman of influence.